So that was Donald Trump being booed at a Washington Commanders game by basically the entire stadium. And what's even funnier than this is not only did it go on for several minutes, but Fox News and a MAGA Fox News panel in particular were the ones who aired it on Fox News. So Fox aired this brutal public humiliation of their cult leader, Donald Trump. And we have to talk about this. But before we do, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, it's always funny to see Donald Trump get a reality check that he's nowhere near as popular as he pretends to be. And it's even funnier that Fox News is the one breaking the news to him. So check it out.
Trump is at the game there in D.C., or actually in Maryland, just outside of D.C., while the shutdown is going on. It's got Veterans Day, Marine Corps birthday, and he's going to talk right now, actually. Let's listen.
So before we finish this clip, it says something that in this country, which tends to be fairly patriotic, as sort of like sporting events and anything related to the military, as he was swearing in the oath of Marines, you did hear applause, right? Like people were applauding the Marines, but it says something that the entire time there were just a chorus of boos being directed at Trump, and most of the time it was louder than the applause that people had for the Marines. In other words, it sure seems like Americans hate Trump more than they love the Marine Corps, which is saying something quite a bit, but let's see the rest of this.
All right, what we saw there, President Trump, War Secretary Pete Hegseth beside him at the game. That's called a swearing in. So they obviously had personnel that were joining, I presume, the military there, probably on the field. Something they do when, the NFL always celebrates Veterans Day, steeped in hypocrisy, if you ask me, but that's what they do. And the president decided to show up, and that's a good moment for those folks that just.
But they're totally trying to pretend that Trump wasn't just booed mercilessly for 2 friggin' minutes. There's also additional types of footage just to really establish that that is indeed what happened. So we'll see it from other angles, including this. Yep, they're not fans. They are not fans. So let's take a look at some of the reaction here, and then we'll also use this as an opportunity to not only provide some additional news about Trump and the Washington Commanders, because another story broke just a couple of days ago, which provides additional context for this. But first, like Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib is hilarious. Boo, motherfucker. If Fox offers, I'd take them up on a job announcing. You suck at protecting and serving the American people. While you're eating up there in that suite, families are going hungry, their health care insurance just skyrocketed, and federal workers are struggling. Well said, Congresswoman Tlaib. Now, Aaron Rupar points out that unfortunately Fox, who was airing the game, they also, of course, gave Trump an opportunity to basically tell his lies about and propaganda about his administration.
Respects to combat, war, etc., and you kind of take some of the same strategies. Would love to hear your thoughts about where we are as a nation, how we're doing.
Well, we're doing great, and recruitment is doing phenomenally. People have spirit. Our stock market hit an all-time high. Prices are coming down. We inherited a mess. Prices are coming way down. And I'll tell you, our country has over $17 trillion being invested in it.
It's just not true. Absolutely not. There's nowhere close to 17. Not. I mean, he's off on orders of magnitude. And he's talking about the architecture of trade deals, which are not investments. So again, just not even fudging the numbers, but just orders of magnitude off. And just here you have Fox NFL giving Trump, the outlet to basically lie to the American people. Now, I said that there was additional Washington Commanders news related to Trump. And so on the 8th, this story broke. Report, Trump pushes NFL team to name $3.7 billion stadium after him. Because of course, right? Donald Trump is seeking to have the Washington Commanders name their upcoming $3.7 billion stadium in Washington, D.C. after him, according to a new report from ESPN. ESPN cited multiple sources with knowledge of the matter in a Saturday report and said a senior White House source has been in contact with a number of Commanders owners group about Trump's desire. Quote, "It's what the president wants, and it will probably happen," the source told the outlet. So again, I just want to emphasize how disgustingly narcissistic and terrible this man is. So it's all about vanity for him. It's all about having his name emblazoned and placed in various positions. That's all he cares about, just like glorifying and sanctifying himself. That's why he's, constructing that, just massive ballroom where the East Wing used to stand, precisely because it's not about running the country. It's about glorifying himself. That's a big problem, folks. It really, really is. But let's continue. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt did not confirm the behind-the-scenes talks, but she did tell ESPN Trump's name would be, quote, "a beautiful name for the stadium," which she credited Trump with making possible. Quote, "That would be a beautiful name, as it was Donald Trump who made the rebuilding of the new stadium possible," Leavitt said, declining to answer further questions on the matter. According to ESPN and the source with the team, what the stadium ends up being named is not entirely up to the Commanders. And then it goes on to say the D.C. Council approved in September plans for a $3.7 billion stadium of the old RFK Stadium. The owners' groups, led by Josh Harris, who purchased the team in 2023, will pay $2.7 billion for the 60,000-plus seat stadium, and another $1 billion is being committed to public subsidies. The targeted opening for the stadium is in 2030. In the middle of the months-long negotiations, Trump threatened in July to delay the entire project unless the Commanders reverted back to their old name. So, again, Donald Trump just meddling in this shit every which way. But again, this is a good opportunity to remind everybody that Donald Trump is not particularly popular. Yes, it's all about authoritarianism and narcissism and vanity for him to try to, again, seal his name on like the Trump RX website, that drug price project that the federal government under Trump is sponsoring. He has to name it after himself because, of course, and this is something that Democrats struggle to comprehend because they don't have that narcissistic streak in them. I will tell you that any Democrat that ends up replacing Trump or ends up succeeding Trump as president, one of the things they should prioritize is taking that asshole's name off anything that he does. The ballroom, the stadium, Trump RX, just totally make it a point. Like, hey, this guy only cares about himself, and here's all the other things I'll do for you, but one of the things I'll do in addition is I'm going to take Trump's name off of everything and do my part to minimize his damage to this country. I think that that's what they should do. Anyway, getting back to Trump's approval rating. Nate Silver, the Silver Bulletin, updated this today. He said, Trump's rating has been in free fall since late October. His net approval rating in the Silver Bulletin average on October 19th was minus 7.5. But today it's down to minus 13. That's the lowest it's been during his second term. The share of Americans who strongly disapprove of Trump also hit a second-term high of 45% yesterday. That means Trump is once again less popular than Joe Biden was at this point in his term. Net approval rating of minus 13 versus minus 8.3. But at the same time, Trump's net approval rating is about 5 points higher than it was on day 291 of his first term, we're 291 days into Trump's second term. So, and it goes, like, got a brutal chart here. The disapproval score, 54.4% net disapproval versus 41.9% approval. And you can see that these things are starting to separate further still. It's pretty bad news for Trump, and the shutdown has not helped things. And, of course, Tuesday's blue wave elections was a massive repudiation of Trump himself. There you have it, folks. We're starting to see all sorts of concrete evidence, from polls to, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people booing him in sustained fashion on live TV for 2 minutes straight anytime he talks, and Fox News, hilariously, was the ones to air it. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.